In John 13 verse 1 we read that Jesus loved his disciples during his ministry on earth, and now he loved them to the very end. A fellow called Martin from South Carolina writes, "I knew that I was leaving, but I had a job to do." He said a textile mill wasn't on my list of places to work when I moved to South Carolina in the early 80s. My new home, however, was in a textile city with mills scattered all over the city and the surrounding towns. He writes, "I ended up working where I didn't want to work, and for the next 3 years endured the noise, the dust, and the aggravation of running looms in the weave room. Then a redundancy, followed by a callback, and I found myself working in another department altogether. Within a few months, I was promoted to the night shift supervisor. At the same time, I was also hearing God's call into full-time ministry, which meant leaving for college." Martin goes on, "I was excited about the future and what was happening, and about leaving the job that I didn't like. My parents, however, had instilled deep within me a strict work ethic, so I finished well by doing my very best until the last minute that I was on that job." Now, it could be that you can identify with Martin. And really, that's the story of Jesus. He finished well. The Father gave him a job, if you like, which involved coming to a sin-cursed world to demonstrate how God wanted people to live. It was also about inviting people to trust him as their Lord and Saviour and to receive his forgiveness and grace, and then finally dying on a cross for the sin of the world. Though he felt fear and anxiety over how his life would end, even to the point of asking the Father if it could be done in another way, he finished well. He finished well by obeying God's plan. As his followers, Jesus wants us to finish well as well. He wants us to finish well the work that he has given to us, to love, to share and to serve others in his name until the very end of our lives or until he returns. Finishing well always involves doing the right thing. Now, doing the right thing isn't always easy, but it's the definition of integrity, and it demonstrates itself in a person of character. I can finish my task well when others are looking, or when it's a part of my job description, but integrity means finishing well even if no one's looking, just because it's the right thing to do. Finishing well also demands perseverance, and persevering is sometimes complicated, as we know. Persevering takes energy that I don't always seem to have, wisdom that sometimes seems to be evasive, courage that I can't seem to muster, and obedience that I sometimes don't want to give. God, however, can provide all of this and more, so that I can move ahead to the finish line. And it's not just me, it's you as well. I need just to step out of the boat in faith. Now, we may be a little slower as we age, but we do not give up because we still have work to do. It may be to pray for those whom God has placed on our hearts right now. I see our prayer lists lengthening almost daily, but again we must continue in faithfulness. Right now, more than ever, is the time to press into the Lord, to read his word, to seek his wisdom, and to love, living under his grace and blessing, so that we in turn can encourage others in their faith journey. Remember, we are blessed to be a blessing right up until he calls us home. So let's not stop short of doing our best for God. Let's trust him to help us finish well. Have a wonderful week, and may God richly bless you as you faithfully serve him.